Okay, well, welcome back to Advent Word 2024. Today I'm going to be thinking about the gift of righteousness and just how amazing that is. And I'm going to talk more on that in a minute. But I'm going to do something a bit different today. I'm going to do a little bit of kind of origami of a sort. And I'm going to make a little origami present with the word righteousness inside. This is a bit experimental. I've got here a sheet of A4 paper and the width of it is 21 centimeters. You can just about see that. And I'm going to use a piece of paper that's 21 by 11, which I think is going to work for our purposes. And I'm going to make this into a kind of origami sort of box. We'll see if this will work for us. So I'm just going to cut that long piece off. I've got a bit of a cold today, so if I'm sounding a bit strange, that's probably why. Right, and now I'm going to decorate this. I'm going to decorate it one colour on one side and one colour on the other side for now. So I'm going to start with a little bit of collage. There's really no need to bother with the collage if you don't want to. The idea is just that the two sides of the paper are two contrasting colours. I've gone for a deep red on one side and gold on the other. So I've put that to one side to dry, and now I'm working in my journal to prepare a background. I'm using a little paint sample pot that comes with a built-in roller just to spread some dark blue paint around. Okay, so back to my piece of loose paper, which I have painted two different colours on two different sides. This is dry now. It kind of needs to be pretty good in terms of being dry. So I'm going to do some folding now. I'm going to fold this in half to find the centre line. Like that. Then I am going to fold this bit to slightly over the centre line, probably not quite a centimetre, probably about 7 millimetres, something like that. Doesn't need to be exact, but as long as it's slightly over that centre line. And then I'm going to fold that down. And then I am going to do the same with this side. So that's the centre line, and I'm going to go slightly over it. And I'm going to fold that down. Like so. All right, and now I am going to paint over this red with the gold, because I want, you'll see that this becomes kind of like a ribbon, a cross of a ribbon on a present. You actually don't need to paint the whole lot, just this middle section like this. And the same on this side. Okay. So, should really wait for that to dry, but I don't think it's going to matter too much. I'm going to take one side and I'm going to fold in the corners. So I'm going to fold in this corner. And essentially I'm folding it into that middle line. So I'm still leaving the 7mm sticking out like that. Press that down. And I'm going to do the same with this corner. Like so, and then I'm going to fold over that strip like so. That's good, right. Now I'm going to do exactly the same on the other side. So I'm going to fold in the corners. A little bit too much. I'm kind of trying to match it with this line here. And this side here. Like so, folding in the corners and then folding back the little flap. Ta-da! And the idea is that that looks a bit like a present, a red present, wrapped in gold ribbon. I'm going to just trim off these little bits here, just to make it look a little bit better. And make sure your folds are nice and firm. And then I'm going to also stick on a little bow on the top like that. So it looks like a little present. Now, all this fuss so that this can actually open up and we can put inside our word, which is righteousness. Righteousness. Inside our gift. I think that works quite well. There it is. There we go. Actually, I think I'm going to go for a staple. There we go. There's my bow, my gift of righteousness. I love it, it's fun. Right, back to our background. So while you watch me work on the background, I'm using some Distress metallic crayons here just to add some texture to the page. And then I'm going to be writing out a Bible verse. And while I'm doing that, I want to talk to you about this word righteousness. I'm so excited to be thinking about righteousness. And if you're not excited about the word righteousness, you've probably not heard the good news. And the good news is something that someone has coined the phrase, the great exchange. We exchange our sin, so we give Jesus our sin on the cross and we receive his righteousness. So the righteousness that we have now, if we have given our lives to Jesus, is Jesus's righteousness, not our own. And most importantly, that righteousness is a gift. It is not something that we've earned. It is not a reward. So a reward is something that we receive for doing something good, isn't it? Like if we run a race and win, then we receive a reward. And righteousness is not a reward. The Bible does talk about rewards in heaven, but our righteousness is not a reward. Our righteousness is a gift. And it's so important that we understand this, that it is a free gift, freely given to us by God. Otherwise, we're just going to spend our lives on earth trying to earn God's favour, trying to earn that right standing in God's sight. Thinking that we have to be good people, that we have to do good works, that we have to read our Bibles, we have to go to church. And the list goes on. And we put these burdens on ourselves. And Jesus, friends, I want you to know that Jesus died on the cross so that you would be free from the burden of having to earn your righteousness. Your righteousness is a gift, and it's a gift that came to earth in the shape of a baby at Christmas time. Jesus came to earth to model righteousness to us. He lived a perfect life so we could see what righteousness looked like. He came to teach us about righteousness. He came to show us just how sharp the law really was. The Pharisees thought they were keeping the law, but Jesus says, no, what's in your heart, that will show you that you are not keeping the law. And really the point of him modeling righteousness and teaching righteousness was really to show us that we had no hope of fulfilling the law in ourselves. We are not able to live the righteous life that God would have us live, his perfect standard. The only person who could do that was Jesus. And Jesus, the perfectly righteous one, became our righteousness for us and gave us the gift of righteousness as he died on the cross. If you want to know more about this, the book of Romans is a great place to go. And I have just written out some verses from Romans 5. It talks about sin coming into the world through Adam, and then the gift of righteousness coming through Christ. And it says, but the gift is not like the trespass. For if the many died by the trespass of one man, how much more did God's grace and the gift that came by the grace of the one man, Jesus Christ, overflow to the many? Again, the gift of God is not like the result of one man's sin. The judgment followed one man's sin and brought condemnation, but the gift followed many trespasses and brought justification. For if by the trespass of the one man death reigned through that one man, how much more will those who receive God's abundant provision of grace and the gift of righteousness reign in life through the one man, Jesus Christ? Wow. So if we want to reign in life, guys, It seems to me that we need a good understanding of our righteousness that is the gift through Jesus Christ. And you would think by now that I would have got this, but I still I still catch myself, particularly since I've been ill and not been able to do much church ministry in person, and condemnation creeps in. The lies of the enemy creep in, say you're not enough, you don't have a ministry, you're not serving enough, you're not giving enough to God, and therefore you are not righteous in God's sight. And it's just it's the devil's favourite lie. Let's stop listening to him and rest in the righteousness of God. So I am reminding myself that righteousness is a gift, not a reward. I don't earn it, I receive it. And I'm adding the letters to form the word gift to the page that I've cut out from a magazine. Just a word of warning, when you stick down your present, I have made a terrible mistake. I have stuck down the whole of the square. And if you do that, you can't kind of pop it up so that you can see the word. All you need to do is put a thin strip of glue under the word where the word righteousness is. So on the back side, but just a thin strip in a line. Don't stick the whole thing down, otherwise it won't pop up. I have managed to rescue it just by tugging at it and pulling it up. But yeah, that was a learning for me. Anyway, thank you so much for joining me. A bit of a long one now, but hopefully that's a bit of a fun project to make a little origami present. And be blessed, guys. I'll see you in the next video.